Breaker Bomb creates. Thanks for popping in. Hello, hello. Just getting myself situated right now. Alright, and I think, fingers crossed, if everything is going well, I think we can also go out to Instagram, which will be good. We haven't done it in a good few weeks. Let's see, yep, and we can go live on Instagram. Beautiful. All right, so ready to go. Super. What's going on, my friend? Viviana, welcome back. Oh, the audio's a bit quiet. Okay, cool. Thank you, because I did have some audio difficulties. How is that? Let me know. Because all of a sudden, my audio thing just didn't want to work 5 minutes before the stream. But we're used to that. Nothing we can't handle. Okay, so we all situated. All right, so today I would like to, if it's all right with you, I want to take this lady a little bit further. Maybe a little too loud. Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. How's that? We'll go right in between. Right in between. I do want to whip an EQ on this bad boy as well. Testing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing. Miranda, how you doing? Great to have you. That can't be into. Oh fuck! It's so delicate. All right, how's that? I just went. Boop. Hopefully that's okay. All right, so we're back in this one. Yeah, let me know. Yeah, good, fantastic. We'll keep it there. And we're not going to bloody touch it. Sweet. All right. I'm doing good, Miranda. Okay. So, we've no green screen this week. Couldn't be bothered getting it out. So, yeah. Where were we? This one. So, last week, we were playing around with a few bits and bobs. Doing some quick value and color studies, experiments, playing around a little bit. But today, yeah, we did this one. Not a fan of this one. Let's forget that one ever happened. And let's see. I wouldn't mind, yeah, taking this one a little bit further, because I like the extreme light that we've got in, like the backlight here. We can have some fun with this. We can even cool down some of the shadows, which most of her face is in, which I think we could have a bit of fun with. But what I'd like to do first is let's just warm up before getting into the full deal. Where did I put my? Oh, did I get out of Pinterest? Let's peruse Pinterest momentarily. No green screen, no void eyes. True. Alright. Ah, we're already here. Okay. So, let's see if anything jumps out to us. To just do a bit of study, and I'll flick the link in the chat. I've started to see some of my stuff pop up, some of my old stuff. Oh, not a fan. I don't know if you guys get that, but looking at your older work, it's sometimes not great, but sometimes a pleasant surprise. You're like, oh yeah, that was alright. Let's see. Let's just go into stream reference. Stream figure reference. What have we got? Something that we can just sink our teeth into. Just for warming up. I reckon I might do one gestury warm up and then one color warm up, and then we'll jump into the lady looking up at us. No, usually all I can see is all my mistakes. Yeah, tell me about it. Me too. Alright, let's just do this one. There's like a figure kind of walking, maybe. Oh no, this one's... Let's try this one. Let's just do this one. Figure standing, that's fine. And let's get one environment. Get one little environment. Where are my environments? Architecture, cars. Hello? I can't see him. Oh, it's got to be cars then. Damn. Nah, I love doing these little things. Yeah, let's do this one. Big swaths of color and shape, and we can have some fun with some local color. Let's do that. All right. So let's just get some bloody pixels on the thingy, hey. Finally, glasses. I thought he was going to go blind. What made you say that? I only got the test like maybe like 3 weeks ago, something like that. Okay, we've got a nice little area here. Zoom it in. I said I was going to share the fucking things, didn't I? So this one, share it here, and if I go back, it's not going to take me, is it? It's not going to take me to the one that I clicked on, because I forgot to. Yeah, I forgot to save it. Bugger. All right. Well, you're just going to have to make do with the tiny little thing here. Get your own reference as well. It doesn't have to be exactly what I'm doing. It's a good practice as well to try and translate anything that I'm doing and saying that you find appealing looking into your own references that you've gathered. Okay. Lucky Rabbit, welcome back. This one's like a 4,000 by 4,000, I think. But this is just for stream and scribbles, you know, so I can just like bounce around. All right. So let's see. What we can do here. So this week as well, I have been, I've got to make sure now I'm back on Instagram, make sure it's all bloody aligned in the right spot. I think, yeah, we're all centered. Good. So back in the old content game, which has been fun, making some content outside of these streams, starting to sort of switch back on all the kind of content, thinking what's the plans that we can throw together, and really just thinking about setting up the next, say, like 6 months of what I'm doing. Really, a little bit more of a planning week, which has been good. But also, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when you got a few too many options, it's not a good thing. Because you get that old little analysis paralysis stuff, which is fucking annoying. Nige Nabobo, good morning. Great to have you. You have your process videos on YouTube, Emmy? Yeah. Yeah, all these lives and stuff. They are kind of like a proxy process, a very condensed look. Without much, I mean, we go on tangents sometimes where I go on into like explainer mode. But yeah, all these lives are saved on YouTube. I don't think you can do that on Twitch, can you? Can you save the VODs? I don't know. Twitch is a whole other game. Ben, how's your brain today? Look, pretty good. Not bad. How you going, Sugar Beats? I'm Larry Fields. You're too kind, my friend. Not drag. Is this also live on YouTube? You bet. It's on YouTube and Twitch as well. We're multi-streaming. And I've got all three of the chats up here as well. So I'm multi-chatting at the same time. But yeah, how you doing, Sugar Beats? Right, so the goal here is to keep it balanced, right? I'm not going for detail, not even going for like cool factor necessarily. I just want to get some lines down that make sense to me and maybe, hopefully, make sense to you. Ah, nice one. Struggling with the art, but I'm trying. Welcome to the club. I was struggling. I'm drinking coffee, Emmy. I'm in the same boat a little bit with something I'm working on. I've got this real resistance going on to posting a carousel that I'm probably going to post tonight. Honestly, I've just got to do it, and I've got to not care. A bit of software or just like a little plugin that I want to maybe make is like a numbers hider for like social media, because it's a pain in the ass if you're just looking to just hit the ground running and just go and get the momentum growing. Nothing stops that momentum than your expectations not being met. So why not just not even see your expectations or know what's going on for like at least a little while until you can objectively look at the numbers and then do something about it. We're talking like from a pure business standpoint here. But it's like it just like turns off all the stats for you, not for anyone else, because I know there's like settings in Instagram and that sort of stuff. I'm sure there's already something out there like that. I'm positive, but if there's not, Viviana iced latte. Look at you, bloody fancy. Viviana, I hear you like mate, Ben. Where did you hear that from? But you're not wrong. My go-to, or really the only one I've tried, is Playadito. Miranda, it's so hard posting consistently as an artist, though. Yeah, it can. Yeah, hard. I mean, there's many facets to that, right? like you've got the physical doing the thing. Then you've got, okay, if it's a business brain, what's going to quote unquote work better based on data that you've got from previous posts, etc., etc. And then what are you actually interested in, which is going to help come through in the content at the same time. You know what I mean? Bray Boet, how you doing? O slash, I don't know if that's a bot or if you're a real person, but welcome anyway. How will you know when you're succeeding though? Certain websites do have analytics that show what works and what doesn't. I guess, what's the goal with this plugin? Little guy waving rather. No, nice to have you. How will you know when you're succeeding? Well, that's got to be up to you. What does succeeding mean? For me, currently, succeeding is getting back into the flow, into the momentum, posting consistently, whether that's YouTube videos, full YouTube videos, and or Instagram posts, and doing a mix of all of them. So all the peripheries and all the numbers and stuff don't do me. They almost hurt me in a way, from like a motivation standpoint, if it doesn't reach my expectations, which are just plucked out of the air. It doesn't even, it's just all up here. There's no like solid number that's like quote unquote a successful post. But it's like, I don't know, some people might empathize with this. Like, once you've got posts consistently doing, like this sucks, but it's the way that our brains work. You get used to the normal. You get used to a certain number. And if it doesn't reach that number, even though like a year ago or 2 years ago or whenever you were like first starting, you'd be over the bloody moon. It's like, okay, my fear is I'll overanalyze that, and then I'll allow that to steer the content in a way which doesn't align with my goal at the moment, which is just putting stuff out there, you know? But I'm sure there's stuff out there that can just like hide the nut, because it's not hard. You just look at unless the the platforms go up and change their IDs on the elements, but you can just go and like find the element name. I used to do that. I used to go in and manually go into inspect element and then just like hide, like filter out all the IDs on the elements that were showing the numbers, because it would it stressed me out, because you'd be over the moon if it performed better, and it would put you in a bloody slump, like in a slump if it didn't. And that's just a me thing. Other people might be like, all right, cool with it. Doesn't really bother them. But I'm so glad to be back sharing stuff, because I don't know, I do enjoy it. Got a little reel out the other day. Have you watched K-pop Demon Hunters? Can't say I have. Fat Cappy, what's going on? What's food? What a philosophical question. No. Marina, it's kind of like being an influencer. Oof. Yeah, I guess, but yeah. Your previous streams, I just thought that was pretty interesting. My hubby is Argentinian, so he'd like it as well. Yeah, look, it's a different feeling, right? It's more of a smooth, like just a constant drip of energy, versus these bad boys, where it's just like poof, 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 poof. But these, I don't know. I think these taste better, but I like the feeling better from a mate. You ask yourself where you're going wrong, even though nothing is going wrong. Exactly. Gamer Heroine, how you doing? I'm so tiny. What are you talking about? Oh, the camera. Yeah, I know Fat Cappy. I know. Shinivari, I gotta check it out then. All right, so here, there's a mistake. Not a mistake. A general, like, weird feeling about it. I don't know if you see it. Do you spot it? I spot it. She's kind of leaning back a little bit, but not in balance, right? So we've almost got it. Whoa. Now, she's just cut in half. Hold on. You want to kind of get this foot, maybe even scooch it back a little bit, you know? Now she feels a little bit more balanced, even in this like sketchy kind of state, right? And I'd highly, highly, highly recommend what I'm going to start doing as well, and maybe do a bit of content around it. Looking at videos, pausing videos, because we all like the go-to and the easiest thing is just to go to Pinterest and all that fun stuff. But looking at videos and pausing videos, I highly recommend it. I appreciate it, Sugar Beats. So what I'm trying to find here, yeah, is that balance. Not too concerned. This is like my shortcut. Can't be bothered drawing the face, so we try, which could be a good exercise in itself. Trying to see what we can do as minimal as possible to even get some resemblance of, I don't know, attitude or like an expression. Are you talking about reaction videos? What do you mean by pausing? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I should, yeah. Get what's in here out through here. As in like for figure drawing, for example. Like even like pausing movies where real people, they're not like posing for a photo. You know what I mean? It's in action. It's you pause like an action sequence and you see where they're at. Like someone's about to punch someone. It's like, all right, they're about to actually punch someone. Or even like the UFC or dancing or like all sorts of stuff. Getting the real thing instead of a lot of the sort of figure stuff or like the figure posing. It's great. It's beautiful. Nothing against it. But I think like sprinkling in like a little bit of pausing videos, screenshotting the videos and learning from that could be pretty helpful. All right, we shall not get into detail whatsoever. We will just put the lines down and they shall lay where they will be laying. What if you can't decide what you want your own style to be? Well, I think that is an opportunity to continue searching and looking at others. Because you can get like I don't know what my, like honestly, I don't know what my style is, like what I want my style to be in the next like 5 or 10 years, you know? That's going to evolve. I'm just chasing the vibes, man. Like what gets me going? What do I see out of other people? I'm like, hell yeah, that's cool. Let's try that out, you know? Do you always flip your work like a mirror? I always avoid it. Oh no, I would recommend not avoiding it. Honestly, it helps a ton. Because your brain starts to get used to stuff. And then you may not see all like the little mistakes or Just even the thing that we fixed before, like the little balance. Just flipping the canvas can like really help. Nothing wrong with it. In fact, I encourage it. I also have been trying to pay attention to the natural balance in my poses as well. Having done so many figure drawings, I start noticing how off balance it is after finishing the feet. True. That's why I try and like hit the whole figure or the whole idea of the figure in the first little bit, because otherwise my feet are gonna like end up down here and like off to the side. You know what I mean? Like it's a tricky one for sure. Flipping is essential to ensure you don't canvas prejudice. Whoa! You get to see issues with balance, proportions, pose, etc. I don't know why I wowed. That just sounded very like intense, but true. What you draw is what your style is. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Creative Beast 004. I'm facing issues to capture the likeness of the subject. Any tips? Many. See, it's hard to give advice when I'm not actually working on the thing. Or like that. Subject, I guess. But I would focus, I mean, maybe something that isn't as talked about. Instead of trying to get the features right, get the relationships between the features feeling right. So instead of just getting the shape of the eye of that person that you're trying to get likeness from, get the shape of the eye in relation to the nose, right? And then continue that on. From the shape of the nose to the mouth, etc., etc. Not super helpful because there's no real like context there, but hopefully it gives you something to think about. Style is like taste. It's what works combines with what you like, developed over time. Yeah, true. Chain head, Ben, a Benny boy, a Benny Hunter, buonissimo. It's going good. How you doing, Chain? All right, let's wrap this up. Let's just get some of these pantaloons in the right spot. Get the bag. But also Drea, it's coming along well. I think we should be able to get it launched within the next month or so. Like proper launch. So I'll start reaching out to more people to get them to have a play around with it. Start getting my stuff on here, on there. But it has been... Whoa, hello. Where'd you... What? Where are we? I think we lose sight of that because we're so used to seeing what we draw or sculpt all the time, so we don't see it as a style out of familiarity. True, very true. Well, so Twitch is not working apparently. Amal DV, Of course, there's some technical difficulties. My apologies. I can't change it right now, but I'll have a look into it for next stream. Macagate Cruise. Please say hello to Elena and Ismail, my kids. They are watching. How you going, guys? What shortcut do you use to flip the canvas? I've synced it to Command F. Pretty good one to remember. No, it's not rude at all. Najin no Bobo. How do I live in IG? Through OBS and the vertical plugin, which is free. All right, let's just get these feet somewhat feeling like they're on the ground. I'm not going to go too far into it. Mind you, I've said that before many times, and we've spent hours and hours and hours. But that's fine. Viviana, so the relationship between shapes and their proportions is what determines likeness. It doesn't determine likeness, but it helps. It's like it's one of the things that help. It's like this head shape doesn't define a stylized look by itself. It's this in comparison with the kind of other shapes around it, you know? It's just another tool that you can use to try and find likeness. All right, that's fine. Good little warm up. Now let's whip some color around. Haven't done color in a little bit. Actually, I lie. We did it last week, didn't we? But you know what I mean. Thanks. Do you encounter some problems when using the key in OBS for IG? Yes. Update the multi-stream. Actually, so it's vertical and multi-stream, the plugins. Update both plugins, the vertical and multi-stream, to the latest versions. That's how I got it to work, because it was messing up for me. JC. After a week of trying to switch to CSP, I've gone back to my begrudging relationship with Photoshop. No GPU acceleration, no on actions is a deal breaker for me. Ah, interesting. Yep, that's fair. Okay, so this is what we're going to work within. And we're going to do this. All right, got some nice perspective opportunities here. Got some nice vehicular opportunities, which is always fun. I think we can, because there's no time limit on this one. I'm not going to put a time. Oh, am I? No, I'm not. We'll do it for a little bit. We're not gonna spend the whole stream on it. We'll throw down some, like a bit of a sketch, you know. So that's a large line, like a large line. What am I saying? Like a key line here. So that's a little perspective dealio. So all this is, we're just warming up here to then refine this lady, all right? For those that are popping in. Thanks for your help. I'm aspiring digital artist that wants to live in IG too. Ah, fantastic. Shinivari, yes it will be. I hope you don't hate me for saying this, but I think the name Drea needs work. I think people are going to have a hard time with it. Yeah, you might be right. It's kind of the least important thing. For like the most important thing is getting the thing working fantastically. Then once we've nailed that, then if it needs a name change, then we change the name. That's like the easiest thing to do. But coming up with names is a pain. Yeah, true. The thing that made me level up the fastest is a combination of gesture drawing, value tonal studies, and master studies. You don't retain what you don't apply. True, true, true. All right, so let's whip this little... I'm going to make this car a little bit bigger. Just because I want to. Than what it actually is in here. Or do we just go straight shapes? Let's just go straight shapes. Back of the lines. Let's see how we can go. All right, I'm using the Filthy plugin. Shout out, Filthy plugin. Blue sky in the background. Cool. Let's make this multiply so the little sketch that we have, we've got something to work with. And it's going to look bad in the beginning. I haven't drawn anything all week. I consider watching you draw count for something. It's fair. That's fair. I'd say so. Probably not. But let's just go with it. You know? Is absolutely better than nothing. We're glad to have you. All right. Let's just do the background. So we're going to go back to front. Okay. Yes, I will use layers. We've got something here, and look how grey that is. Boring. Boring, boring, boring. Because this is a white building. It's going to reflect a lot of light. So we're going to have fun with some texture. We're going to have some fun with trying to make these fairly simple shapes. Oh, I'm getting some lag. What's happening? Let's close some things. Where are we? What else can I close? I'm going to close that. I'm going to close. What don't I need? Don't need Discord right now. Quit that. XP Pen, I don't even use that anymore. Quit that. Quit that. Quit that. Quit that. Quit that. Quit that. Man, maybe this is why we were having some issues. Now, how does this feel? A little better. Potentially. We'll see. All right. So let's even add another layer underneath here. BNR Super. The naming of stuff, it's like fucking pain in the ass, man. But there's so many schools of thought with it. It's like, does it actually matter? Like, what does half of the stuff that we use even mean? Like, do we even think about the meaning? There is probably like a phonetic advantage. Like if you've got something that's easier to say. Could be better. But yeah, we'll see. I'm more interested in it coming out and being useful. And we will sort out all the other stuff later. Because I used to, my old gig was graphic design. And like I used to do some logo stuff on the side and this and that. And you start to realize it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter nearly as much as how good the product actually is. Whatever you're making, that's kind of number. But mind you, marketing is exceptionally important, like super important, right? But it's not nearly as important as what I used to think it is. You don't have to tell me all the crap I have to name for my game. You know what's a pain in the ass? Naming variables. Naming variables is the biggest pain in the ass in programming. Psychic Fox, so jealous of 2D artists, always look so fun till I try drawing. I'll stick to 3D, can't stop watching though, so interesting to see the process. I feel the same about 3D. That's why I sort of, I jumped into that world because I found it so interesting. But it's that grass is greener, right? It's always more interesting what other people are doing. But I recommend any 2D artists, do yourself a favor and start dabbling in 3D if you haven't already. Highly recommend it. Okay, so we're just going to start whipping shapes in. We're not going to get to the whole background minus the car. This is what we're gonna worry about. So it's just getting our eye in for, see, a bit wonky. Don't hate that. I quite like it. Just a smidge, just a little wonky. Nothing wrong with it. Boom. Then we've got the garage door kind of things. Give ourselves something to place there. Then we've got like there's some subtleties here, right? There are really some subtleties because you've got the sunlight. We can see the light direction. Look for shadows. When you're looking for the light direction, look for the direction of the shadows. It's like coming down, right? You can see the little shadow underneath here. Let's clean it up. No, we're not. Let's not get finicky about this, Ben. Bloody hell. Just, it's done. So you've even got like a little bit of bounce light that's like radiating off of these top planes, even on the tops of these little vent things. It looks like a Looney Tunes back. It does a little bit, right? Don't even get me started on variables. Oh, super. Oh, I feel the pain. Can I ask something? Feel free to answer if you like. Go for it, Aiden. ChatGPT is the worst name for any. That's what I'm saying. Whoop. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. ChatGPT. It used to be the hardest thing to say. But now, like, we know how to say it. But it's like, what does that even mean? What is a Jippity? Peter Secco, what happened to the screen? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with Twitch. Hopefully that helped. I flicked it on and off again. Hopefully the turn on and off did something. Okay, so what I was talking about before, the reflected light. We can have some fun with this, the subtleties. The sweet, sweet subtleties. All right, and we can say, okay, there's going to be a ledge there. Let's just throw in that door, like imagining, like thinking through this. I love these kind of really graphic kind of sessions. They're good fun, man. Good fun. All right, and there's going to be a bit of fall off here as well. How do you figure out, okay, so Aiden, how do you figure out your mistakes if you don't have anyone to tell you? How do you keep improving? Well, that is a fantastic question. These colors are so nice already. Thank you very much. It's a skill that you've got to learn, just like drawing the head, drawing the body, environments, color theory, values, etc. Trying to look at what others are doing, looking at what you're doing, looking at what others that you look up to are doing, I should say, and that you want to understand how they work. And seeing the differences. But then the tricky part is, you're right, how do you change those differences? So I think actually, like, seeing if you've got people, I've started to think of potentially doing some like live like workshops or something so that you can see others being critiqued, because I think there's a real value in actually looking at like an instructor or a teacher or whatever, even free on YouTube, right? Someone explaining something. But I think there's also something very valuable about looking at others at a similar level to you and seeing how someone would critique their work, because you're oftentimes going to be doing some similar things, quote unquote, wrong. Not really wrong, but not in the way that you intend to do them. And that can be really valuable. So it's kind of like a second to actually buying a course and going through the whole thing and maybe even getting the critique directly one-on-one. But if you can find some critique stuff, it's why I might even start doing some of that. Because I think that is actually pretty valuable. Because I guarantee you someone's had the same questions that you've had about whatever you're trying to do, whether it's in art or otherwise. Let's add these little spheres here. They're going to be bigger than what's actually there. Do I care? Not at all. It's my drawing and I'm going to do what I want. Jippity sounds like an Aussie bush animal. Now I got Chat Jippity from the Primogen. He's a programming streamer, bloody funny guy, and he calls it Chat Jippity. Hashit, yeah, I used to get hooked up on logo design and thought just the logo can make a brand work. It is the product that actually matters. 1,000,000%. Though I'm starting to get annoyed with the constant notifications they send me every day. Uniqlo. They've got a Uniqlo over here. I've not tested them out. I've not bought a Uniqlo item. But I hear they are good. Hashtag not sponsored. But Uniqlo, if you're looking to get into the sponsoring a streamer game, hit me up. I know you're watching. I don't even know what a sponsored stream would look like. Like what is this stream? The goal is that each stream is sponsored by my own shit, right? That's the real goal. All right, we got some groundwork here. We got something happening. Something's cooking. What we need is a little bit of texture. I'm setting up all this background so when we whip in the car, it's gonna work. So what, those of you that are using the Filthy plugin, the cool thing about it is that you can use all these shapes and it works just the same. I'm going to do a cheeky multiply layer just for speed. All right, so it automatically adds them in, but you do have to have it set to pixels, right? Now I'm trying to think of all the other brands that have weird names. Yeah, like a lot of them. Even like the little apps that you use on your, like even development apps, you know? You just hear that it's good and you use it. Really. Like Nike. Yeah, it means the goddess of whatever, right? But do you like it's ubiquitous with like a quality product, right? Look at me whipping out ubiquitous on stream. All right, so we've got some of these parallel, well, not really parallel, but because they will converge at one point in time. Excuse me, Indigestion City. Why didn't they use ChatGPT to come up with a... True. Carvalho, I researched a lot to get to know what are the fundamentals so I could name my flaws. That's a good little tip, being able to name them. Name what it is. My X is not working. My Y I need to work on because of blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Now, each of these, now we're getting a little, this is meant to be a warm up. So let's just like hammer through this. Each of these, what do we call these? Let's just call them lines, shall we? Each of these lines, they've got some dimension to them. All right, so everything I'm doing, I'm always thinking about the light source. Particularly, it can help a lot with some of these like less intricate surfaces. Just adding a little bit of this can make it look more like way more 3D. And then we come through and then we've got to erase out the parts that we don't want, right? So we come through here. Yeah, I know this square isn't exactly perspective correct and blah, blah, blah. I do not care at this point in time, or any point in time. If If your ex isn't working, she should. Well, you know what to do. You have to do an ad break and sell soap or Uniqlo. Only those two. Only soap or Uniqlo. Are you a dirty artist? Have you been sitting in your room for too long without having a shower? Buy this soap. Could be fun doing like random products. But also, if the marketing team of whatever company is savvy, they'll be like, what return are we getting on Ben just talking shit and mentioning our product? And I would say an intangible amount of value. Okay. Where are we with let's get some of this stuff going, right? Boom, 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 boom. Even the little textures that we're putting in, I like it to go semi in line with the perspective. Doesn't have to be perfect, you know, but something. That just gives us a little bit of, like I'm thinking about it, you know? Just got to draw. We're gonna draw like we're thinking about it. That might not even be a bad reminder, because sometimes you sort of like zone out sometimes. At least I do. And then you wake up and you're like, oh shit, that's not looking good. Are you a dirty artist? Has a double meaning kid. Shows some safe, but naughty. Ah, there you go. See, that's the wrong thing. Content brain. Love it. And then when the artist is clean, their stuff is super wholesome. Bloody love it. I didn't mean literal soap. It's like a saying for selling stuff. Oh, okay, I get you. I get you. And then at the same time, we promote filthy. If you're a filthy artist, that's good. Dirty artist, no. Filthy artist, that's a whole nother conversation. See, the synergies. Okay, let's have a look here. What are we doing? What are we doing with our lives? Down here, down here. A little bit of a darker something there, here. Scooch it across. All right, I think it's time. You call it art, so. One thing I was thinking of actually making, all jokes aside, is like almost something to my younger self that used to get frustrated all the time. And like the survival kit for like my drawing's going terrible. And it's like a checklist you can go through of all the things that I would do to like look and see if this thing is not working. If the face is looking wrong, check this, check this, check this, check this. Just as like a little thing to get out there. All right, we've got something. Let's not worry about the lines on the, excuse me, on the road for now. I think we just go ahead and merge it all down into one. Look at that, we're crazy. Now, carton. Yellow. Let's make it all yellow. Call it art soap for us. Can you show the other drawings in the canvas? Yeah, later. I'll be scooching around. Don't you worry. So Neth, are you using 2 points perspective for this drawing? I guess. No, what point perspective is this? 1. I guess it would be 2 point. Yeah, because these go off into the distance, and this one goes off into the distance. Yep. Good observation there, Suneth. Alright, let's make a wonky little car. It's got like a wide mouth. When I draw, I'm often afraid it will not work, so I do what you're not supposed to do and finish one whole object in the picture. Then it gives me confidence to keep going. Well, then it's exactly what you should do. Who said you're not meant to? Like, this is the thing. Like, where are we getting all these bloody rules from? Like, you're not meant to finish an object. Says who? If it works, it works. No, this is looking a little bit not great. It'll get there. Because our perspective is all off. Right, it's looking very, how would you say? Not good. But that's about to change, I hope. Because oftentimes working like this, it can look a little strange because you're just plopping in shapes. And there's no real light that's happening here, so I think we could even let let us use a little, the warp tool. Can we like make this, like scooch that back a little bit, or do something, you know? Make it a bit more interesting. But if I were you, I'd be doing paid partnerships every 5 minutes, imagine. Hi mate, just joined the stream. What is the filthy panel? I see it now. That's a cool plugin. Ah, fantastic. Always frustrated how to pick a color, and every color I pick, it feels not right. Beatles. It often is just trial and error. But also thinking about the light source can help a lot. Because that will inform a lot of your decisions. Okay, we've got a little bit of personality happening here. But now we need less personality. Well, no. We're focusing less on the personality and more so on how this light, there you go, thinking about light, is actually affecting these shapes. All right, because we've really just put some placeholder things in here for now. Let's make this see-through, as if we can see through it, right? So that's given that illusion of the glass. Carry this shadow through. Right. Good stream today, Ben. It's tough for me to take off. Catch you later, Super. You have a good one. Okay, now I'm going to select this whole truck. I'm then going to mask this off, layer above. Then I'm going to start deepening some of these colors. All right, particularly on the edge. A little too much potentially, but that's what I was going for. All right, give a little bit of volume. And then we'll come through with the screen layer mode, I reckon. We got that little shadow of the old side mirrors. We also need the light there, so like the orange, the real orange sort of indicators. What do you guys call indicators? Blinkers? Don't think you should quit forever, Lana. Definitely not. Blinkers in New Zealand. Interesting. In the way that, okay, so that reel. So for example here, if we're using a multiply layer, this is a multiply layer. Usually you can use it for like adding shadows, let's say, right? Or darkening the values without ruining the context of the values. Right, so we could have like this in shadow because there's like a roof over here or whatever, right? But if we just wanted to mess around with the color variation and not mess too much with the underlying value structure, right? Say if I wanted to tint these windows, but I didn't want to make them super dark. Right, I can come here, make sure I'm up the top, right? Basically the lightest values, right? Closer that you are to white, the least amount of effect it's going to have. The closer you are to the most saturated color, the most amount of tint it's going to have, right? But it's a good way to just like glaze over things. It doesn't darken things down nearly as much. And this is what you would use something like your multiply layer for. Like your color layer mode. Right, if we wanted to just show this as like a different glass color, say. And then if we did want to darken it down, instead of going and adding another color layer mode, or sorry, like a multiply layer mode underneath a color layer mode, you can do it all in the one. It's really just a time saver kind of thing. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, I'm sure you can do something in color dodge and all the other layer modes. But it's just something that I use all the time. Let's zoom in here, see how we can make this feel a little bit more authentic. All right, so we've merged this all down. It's time to clean up some of our stuff here. All right, we're really just indicating some stuff here. Not getting too heavy in the detail. What we are going to want to do though is make sure that these are all making sense, because say for example we've got this like dark bit of plastic, like this is just plastic, right? Even on the top here, this, you're going to see a value change. Very subtle, and depending on the camera's lens and all that kind of thing in this situation where we're looking at a photo, but in real life even, you're going to see value differences. Even on the darkest sort of matte surfaces. No. Let's clean this up. This is going to be facing down a little bit, the front of this, the front of the car. So that's going to be a darker value. So we've got to sort of make that clear. Too dark, if I'm honest. So let's something along those lines. So here, like even in the cars, we're looking at planes and even gradients, right? Planes and gradients, my two favorite tools to make things look believable and realistic. But yeah, on what you were saying, Lana, with like how it's frustrating, I think that's part of the, like, it may seem annoying in the moment, but it's like that's part of the not the fun but the challenge of it. Because if it was easy and everyone could just do it, it's just like, all right. Like if I didn't find any challenge in this myself, I probably wouldn't be as interested in drawing. That's for sure. I'd love for it to be easy. I can empathize with that though. With it just like, I just want it to work. Just work. Believe you me, I've had many days of the feeling of just bloody work. Brain, hand, do what I want you to. Now we're getting a smidge bit of personality back into it. Now we were meant to go, we should really speed this up a little bit. What I hate is that pretty much when I decide to get into digital art, the AI art started happening and people can think you're not doing it yourself. Yeah, that's good. That's a thing we got to contend with now. So now if you're online and trying to sort of break through and sharing your stuff, I mean, there's all sorts of ways that you can prove that you are doing the work, you know, like this, showing the process. But isn't what you're doing now easy for you? It looks like it is. Is it easy? I don't know if it's easy. I wouldn't say easy. It's familiar. Because I get stuck in situations where it's looking terrible. I've just been through that enough times to know that, like, how to get out of that, or at least I've got some strategies that I'm familiar with on how to get out of some sticky situations, you know? That just comes with experience. But I wouldn't say this is easy. It's familiar. If I was drawing this same thing, this same scene every single day, then it would probably become too easy. Right? And then it's just like, all right, what's the point? every one of these streams even is a challenge, because I don't know how it's going to turn out. It could completely backfire and look terrible, like with my taste and what I expect of myself, you know. So like each one of these decisions that I'm making here is a challenge. If I already had, like, easy would be paint by numbers, right? It would be put this here, put that there, bing, boom, boom. It's done. It looks great. Ta-da, you know? But this is far, it's not even in the same universe as that. Because I don't know these are like little bets I'm placing in a way, you know? Every line is like an educated bet that I'm placing. And then we look at it, we assess, and then we reassess our investment, and then we go again. Thank you, little bro Kim. Lana, paint by numbers is so great because you're never wrong. But are you truly ever right? I don't even know. That sounded philosophical, but I don't actually know if it is. Breezy J, how you doing? Casey Snow, what's going on? Scroll, welcome back. Fair enough, Lani. Prove me wrong. But are you right, or is the manufacturer of that paint by numbers correct? And they're giving you the answers. But it's all up to what your goals are, you know? If you enjoy paint by numbers, bloody go for it. Go for it. Nothing wrong with it. But here, for example, I'm putting these little, what do you even call them? Like the headlights. I put this shape down. I assess. Too bright. Knock it down. Place another bet. Better. Can use a little work, but we'll let it ride. Next one. A little too bright. Now we've got both of them in context. Make another decision. This is the best thing about digital. Like, one of the biggest advantages of digital is the iteration speed that you can do on stuff like this, you know? Here, underneath here, this needs a bit of shadow. Place that bet. Boom. There you go. Lil Bro Kim, I really love your art style. Thank you. I wish I could learn to draw like you one day. It's 1000% doable. I'm living proof of it. Don't have to wish for that. But when I do get to find time, your channel is definitely the one that I'm going back to. I appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for popping in. Not much. Just got home from a trip to the mountains and vegging out with what's left of my weekend. Lovely. Sounds beautiful. Scroll. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How you doing? All right, what I'm going to do, you know what? I don't know if we're going to make getting too much color onto her, but what I might do, I might pause this because we can just keep going and going and going and going and going on this one, right? First off, I've got it. This is doing my head in. I've got to show the side plane of this way more clearer. Hold the phone, please. Yep. There. That'll do. Multiply. Where did the whole... There we go. All right. See, look at that. Just doing that. It doesn't match the... this is a bit too intense, if I'm being completely honest. But if I were to just scooch the hues, scooch them hues just a little bit closer to reality, right? A little bit more on the bluer side, because what have we got up here? We got the blue sky. There's reasoning behind these decisions that we're making. It just adds some dimension, whereas without, flat, realistic, flat, realistic. And then we can come in even and we can carve some of these top planes out, because they're going to be facing upwards, right? This is what it was missing all along. Look at that. Oh, this is my favorite part. Boom, top plane. Throw it in there. Top plane of this window thing. Boom. This little line here. Boom. Beautiful. All right. I'll be back momentarily, and we are going to get onto some line work of this lady. But this one, I might, I want to keep going with this one, but not right now. This might be I'll do this on my own time. I'll finish this up on my own time. But you got the gist of where I'm going with it. Then we're going to do the line work here. I should write back in 5. Back in 5. Can I get a new layer, please? Back in 5. And we're back. Doing good, just starting my day. I'm going to work on some designs. Lovely. I love these Japanese trucks. I'm not sure if it's Japanese truck, but it looks like one. It does, doesn't it? I love them too. I love them. I watch and listen to a lot of Japanese walking videos for ambience, as well as Swedish and other walking videos. I like walking videos as well. How good are they? It's a weird one, right? It's like, I get nostalgia from it, but I've never had that as a nostalgic. There's no reason for me to have like a Japanese nostalgia because I've lived my whole life in Australia. It's weird. Oh, too hot. We'll just sit that there momentarily. All right, let's set ourselves up. If we can't get to color today, let's set ourselves up for when we do get to color. Let's scoot this Dyson fish lady from previous streams over there. So I can see you're making decisions about coloring the shadows a darker orange instead of just being kind of dark like the ref, which makes it look better. See, that's what I'm saying, yeah. And there's like decisions behind that, like the blue sky. We'll put a little bit more of a blue tint in the shadows because it's a big blue light source. Miwa art. That's okay. These recorded on YouTube, so you can pop back later. Thanks for popping in there. Yeah, I got a lot of nostalgia as well. I wonder if part of it is from watching a bunch of Studio Ghibli films. Could be, although I didn't personally. I didn't. The only maybe in primary school it was like Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z. That was, and Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh. So I guess there is a little bit, and I'm sure there was some of those, even like the background paintings and that kind of stuff in the anime seeped in somewhere. If I could paint as good as a paint by numbers, I'd be like set. I'd be selling painting by numbers on Etsy. You could start doing that now in your own style. Ben, do you have a particular dream or goal as an artist? I don't think so. I don't know. I want to keep playing, you know? And have the business, the social media stuff, the drawing, the painting, the sculpting, just like allow me to keep doing and having fun and exploring stuff as I go, and sharing what I'm learning and sharing what I'm doing, you know what I mean? Because I think that's like the art in itself. It sounds a bit wanky. I completely realize that. But I think, at least from my perspective, the content, the art itself, the actual thing I'm producing, how I'm explaining it, the way I'm positioning the content, the business side of stuff, all that feels like the quote unquote art. That's the whole fun of it. You know what I mean? It's not just like this, for me, it's not the art and then all the other stuff is like periphery. I quite enjoy everything. Not everything about everything, but looking at it more holistically, that's sort of how I think of it, you know? Miss Capricorn. Again, you bloody legend. How you doing? Great to have you. Good Lang, how you doing? Are you still drawing in a sketchbook? No, I'm not. I haven't in a while. It doesn't mean that I'm not drawing in a sketchbook. I just haven't drawn in a sketchbook in quite a while. That's right, Kel. Kel, call you Kel. Thank you very much for the raid, you bloody legend. All right, what I'm doing here on this iteration of this sketch now, we're already back, so we can get rid of that. I'm setting myself up for when I want to color, okay? Doing a bit of line work can really help. Doesn't mean that I'm not going to draw or paint over the line work. It just means that it gives me something to work off of, and that's what I like doing at this point in time. As like a workflow, you know? Was playing around with some techniques in watercolor. Oh, some of the hardest mediums to play around with. That's cool too, just to enjoy art. Yeah, like I think the whole thing, the content, the streams, the meeting people, the how it intertwines with like the things you do in real life as well, not just sitting in the office all day or in the studio all day. You know, I really enjoy the whole thing. And now building the software like the Drea thing, how can I make it truly my own, how I get to share stuff and allow people to do the same thing as well. Yeah, it's like the whole thing is just like cool. So with this, see how all this is like very sketchy, you know? I'm trying to get some clarity for myself. I really admire this type of stylization of characters. I'm still getting basic anatomy down, but soon this feels fun to try. Oh, it is fun. Stylization. Very fun. Highly recommend. So sometimes with these lines, less is more, but sometimes more is more. Let me explain. So, for example, I could leave this whole section out and I could just do the whole nothing and then nose, right? That can work, that's fine. But you could also add in more indications. It really is, it's a style choice at that point. But it's like add more indications and hints. And I think this was oh, what's his name? Comic book dude. Can't remember, but he called these little things like the dits and the dats. Right? All these little indications of, they're not like a hard line. They're not really like super trying to like, they're not a really contrasty kind of line. They're just like a little indication of where something is. You see it actually a lot in like Kim Jong-gi's work as well. Like these, just these, I call them, sometimes they're like full lines. Like I've called them whisper lines in the past. You know, but there's a time and place where you can just remove all the complexity and just have it super simple. But there's also a time and place where you can add these little dits and dats or these little whisper lines to, it's sometimes what it's missing. if things are looking a little bit too bare. Again, comes down very much to style preference for sure. But even with this stylized stuff, I am thinking about the 3D forms, you know. I like that in between 2D, 3D kind of feeling. Because we're looking down on the face, right? We're seeing the top plane of the nose. A lot of the eye is being cut off because we're looking down on it. I've always thought of them as shadow lines. Yeah, but the thing is, like, sometimes they're not shadow lines. Because, for example, let's like this dude's head, right? I always use this as an example. This temple here, you could like indicate that with some of these lines, you know? But there's no shadow here, right? The light could be coming directly here, and then this and this plane is like very, very similar. So it's a weird in-between kind of line. Miranda Art. Didn't know the live was also shown on Insta. Yeah, we're back on Insta. I like the dits and dats. That's what it sounds like when I make them on the... It does, all right? You're not wrong. Okay. I've not heard that. I smell what you're stepping on. Okay. Never heard that before. Also, flip the canvas. Do yourself a favor. Flip that canvas. Now we had this interaction, right? Of the brow and this finger. We want to make sure that we just refine this. And it's the little things as well. The little things can make a lot of difference. So we could do the simplified, like fingernail there and then straight down, and that's fine. Or we can get a little bit more depth to it and imagine it in 3 dimensions. So we've got this front part of the cuticle, I guess you'd call it. So there's like a little bit of depth to the nail. I like that personally. But then again, depends on the whole look of the drawing, you know. This is getting pulled just a little bit out this way. So it's really that dance, that balance between what we're trying to get from the reference and what we're bringing to the table. Prashan, what's going on, my friend? Oh, I'm doing well. Hope you're doing good. Still got my little friend that sits on my desk every day. Haha, Remby. How are you, my friend? How's that painting going? I've got to do what we were talking about. the was it the vignettes? I've been telling everyone on stream as well about that. Was it Francesco Montal? You know who I'm talking about? The guy that we were talking about the other day. One day it will be finishing freelance. Ah, nice. No, not Dean Cornwell. Yes, we were talking about Dean Cornwell. No, the World War II fella, or like the World War One fella that did the ink. Italian bloke, maybe. I think his name sounds Italian at least. Nah. Viviana, thank you so much for the stream. I have to go to bed as I have to wake up early for a doctor's appointment. Hope everything's doing okay. Thank you. Same to you. And appreciate you popping past. For Tonino Matania. Exactly. Yep, been showing everyone that guy's work. Phenomenal. Love it. Even with the teeth here. Even with the teeth. It's those little things. We're looking on top. There's a wireframe underneath here. Alright. If we were to center line this out, it would go boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? So this is what I'm thinking about. So we'll give ourselves, we'll quickly go through, give ourselves somewhere to work on next stream for the color, I reckon. Got a book here with your name. Oh, I know, Remy. D-I-O, just want to say love your work, man. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for popping in. And those of you that are not familiar with Rembit, you should be ashamed. Check out Rembit Montal. If you're into drawing from imagination and ballpoint and just all things like just solid drawing, like phenomenal shit. This is the dude that got me into doing my own like sketchbook work, physical sketchbook, brush pens, all that fun stuff, you know. Highly recommend. This is just promo back and forth. Hardworking pilot. Cobber. Bloody Struth, mate. You know it, Rimby. How you doing, hardworking? All right, let's get our forms in place. That's a long finger. It's a very long finger. But, nah, too long. I was going to let it ride, but we cannot do that. Something like that. I might even play around with the hand placement when we do come to the final thing. Seen you've been smashing some guitar, Remby. Now with the hair, I think we've got to choose like a shape language as well. Like, do we want it very sharp and like, or would we want it a little bit more on the floppier side, you know? Like, got some, whoa, excuse me. Some like rounder shapes for the hair and even the head, you know? Like, we could get really sharp with it and be like poof poof, or round it out. These are all decisions we're going to make, all of us together. Darmix, what's going on? Thanks for popping in. Remember, you draw the best sleeping chicks and punk kids in fisheye lens. Truth. So here with the hair, it's kind of like we've got to edit how much, how little do we want to show. We're not going strand by strand. That'd be ridiculous. We've also got to keep in mind that there's a head underneath here as well. Okay. Alright, so we got here, shoulder coming down. Now this is where a lot of the fun's going to come with the lighting. So I do want to make sure that I'm giving myself a good base to work off of. It does a little bit, Dharmic, doesn't it? Does look a little bit like Linda Hamilton. You're not wrong. So we've got to think a little bit about the old anatomy. Right, so we've got the neck coming down here. The arm here. This is hair, but I think we could edit that out. Maybe we can even have some of the hair coming through the arm here. Also, quick tip with the eyes, whip in the irises, like here, or not? Is that no, not the iris? Just like the whole eyes. Like, instead of just keeping it like line work, because that's going to clear a lot of stuff up, particularly from like the eye line, which makes sense, right? Because I can see now that this one's a little bit drooped down. Well, they're not balanced, let's say. This one could even be pulled back a little bit more, you know. Because that was the whole thing of this reference that I liked, was that subtle like pull on the face. Now I'm thinking when I do the color, I'm going to block her out in some sort of vignette like that. So then we've got a little bit of the background here that we can play with to give some context to like the light source and all that kind of stuff, you know. Game, I recognise his drawing out from a couple of streams ago. A lot of this is just iteration. Very seldom do I hit the exact finished piece first go. Never happens. Learned so much from studying Kim Jong-il. Yeah. Me too. Bloody legend. Maybe this mouth could be moved over just a smidge. Just a little. As if like everything's kind of pulled a little bit. Not crazy amount, but like enough, you know? What style do you find the most difficult? Disney, Dragon Ball, realistic? They all have their difficulties, you know? Probably. Well, it depends, because I haven't really practiced like Dragon Ball, like anime kind of thing. So I personally would probably find that quite difficult. But I don't know, this more like stylized kind of Disney, but there's like a little bit something different about it. At least like the stuff that I admire is like a little bit different than Disney, but it's like got that like flavor in there. I love Disney stuff as well, but there is something else. The intangible. We might even, when we decide to go like full color with this, do some like thumbnails. Alright, so that's what we're going to try for, something along these lines. And then maybe the whole background is a little bit darker value. So it would have something not stark white. Like that, maybe. Could be a cool, like, framing of it. Kim Jong-gi was just cracking the code with no YouTube tutorial. It was just intuition. Yeah. They both have a lot of form shown through line work and not shadows kind of approach. Yeah. Yeah, I like a whole bunch of styles, you know what I mean? I want to mix and match them. I might even try anime at some stage, like skew more towards more anime style, just to like experiment, you know. Omaromero 90, I usually watch your videos while I work. Fantastic, thank you very much. Appreciate you. Thanks for popping in. Well, look, with this gives us something to work with coming into maybe next stream. I might, can't make any promises, because I might get the itch to work on it a little bit this week. We'll see. I also want to like take this one. I want to do something with this one because this one was fun. I'll just add some indications while we talk a little bit about the stream's plugs. If you like this stylized stuff, you can check out the links in the description. I've got an 8-hour 10-chapter walkthrough tutorial, plus a 40-page PDF field guide that you can check out if you like what we've done as well with this little study using the Filthy plugin. Links in that description as well. We're also working on a course platform called Drea, so if you are a content creator, there'll be more to show in the coming weeks. We're getting close. I'll start doing some sneak peeks, what's going on behind the scenes, start getting it out to more people. We're in pre-release alpha. That title is completely made up. It's basically giving it out to a few people to see how it goes. But it's getting there, and I'm very, very excited about it. Now, all I'm doing here... Now, do we want to... I mean, there is something to be said about sometimes with dark hair. Excuse me. Just like filling it in to see what it might look like almost, yeah, like ink it in, you know. See what that looks like. It's on a different layer, so we don't have to get super tight with it, but just even how the graphic shape of the hair, how that's going to affect what we do when it comes to sort of like rendering and coloring it in and adding our own light sources and blah blah blah, all that fun stuff, you know. Could you draw a character in 3 different styles someday? If you feel like it, would love to see how you'd approach. That's a good idea. That is a good idea, man. That'd be cool. Because I could do that with like different, like a whole bunch of different styles as well. Like different, what's the word? Like different topics or different things to draw as well. The Alpha Alpha. Sorry, Omega. Or is the Omega Alpha? One does not simply Alpha. Fair. Maybe we can color the grocery store girl. And by we, I mean you. We're running out of time. I'm sorry, Lana. I've got to get to the gym. I've got to come back. I've got to get a post prepared for later tonight. Like that's kind of feeling balanced-ish. Maybe. Is there a bit of hair? Like it's going to be all in the balance of the flyaway hairs, I think. Like does this come back here? Does it frame the ear? Maybe. You know? Something like that. Something to work with at the very least. Maybe next time. Probably not because we're going to do this one, Lana, if I'm being honest. But regardless, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to learn something. Hopefully you'll learn something. Yeah, it's okay. I don't love it, but I'm going to just keep noodling on this until next bloody Thursday. So, what did we do today? We started off nice little figure sketch, balanced. Right, we had an issue initially with this kind of scooching back a little bit too far. Right, looks like she was like kind of leaning back, so then we got that head over those feet, which was good. Then we transitioned down into this nice little fella. I do want to go further with this one based on this reference. Right, a study in light, how it affects all the forms, the shapes, the colors. Big takeaway from this one, that contrast of the planes, making sure that even if it's a little bit more extreme than the reference, try it out, you know. It could look a little bit better, and it could even read a little bit better from further away. And then we set ourselves up with a little bit clearer bit of line work that I'm probably going to work on a little bit this week, if I'm honest. So we'll see how we go. But with that, catch you later, Scroll Reaper. You have a great one. Thanks for popping in. I'm going to say thank you to everyone that popped in today, that has popped in the past. It's an absolute pleasure being able to do this with you guys. Come through, have a little bit of a paint, a little bit of a draw, a little bit of a chat, you know. Every week there's a weekly stream for those that are new. Every Monday, 10:45 a.m. Australian Central Standard Time. And at the same time, it's in the past every Sunday for you PST people. For you people living in the past. Every week, those that are in chat, that are chatting away, thank you. Appreciate you. Those that aren't, appreciate you just as much. Cheers, Cobber. Thank you guys. And with that, I am going to have a pre-workout meal, finish off my coffee, and head to the gym. Yep, that's the plan. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. And until then, I don't have a sign off. I never know what to say. I just kind of like, all right, toodaloo. I'm not sure. We'll just keep it at that for now. I'll catch you in the next one. Toodaloo.